I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about corn and the sustainability aspects we bring with the ethanol process as well, and really how we get to all these byproducts that Dr. Erickson is talking about. A lot of these have come about really in the last 15, 20 plus years where Mike's feeding a lot of dry distillers grains or wet distillers here on the feedlot here. All these are through the process or coming out of the ethanol process, where 30% of the corn across the U.S. roughly is using the ethanol production right now and creating a great fuel. But on the other hand, it's creating an absolutely fantastic feed product that's coming here to, a lot of it goes to the cattle industry. And as we talk about that from a, big picture scenario from sustainability, it's bringing a high quality protein into here. It's also bringing, other feedstuffs, like you say, when you talk about corn, the syrups that we've got, we're feeding to some of our cattle on the farm, and the oil out of that process as well. So just different pieces that we didn't really have a whole lot of this market, too many years ago. Now 98% of the distillers across the U.S. are coming out of coming out of ethanol plants, and the other 2% is coming out of where they make our good whiskey. But
and they're using some of that for cattle too.
That's going to cattle as well. So either way, this it's absolutely great products, and they really go hand in hand with the entire picture for sustainability between corn and cattle.
It doesn't have to be a feed versus fuel question. It can be feed and fuel.
Right. I mean, it's a big part of it. I mean, it's just like what Kevin is talking about. I mean, when we get into the wet distillers and things like that, I mean, you look at those efficiencies, and the energy of that product. And when the ethanol industry came in, it changed a lot of things, but we learned how we could coexist throughout this whole process. And if you look at the beef animal, just like what Galen was talking about, it's a little over 80% of their lifespan is spent on forages, on grass, on things like that cannot be eaten by humans or things like that. But only 20% of that time when we get them here, and then we finish that. That's where the efficiencies are, and that's where the corn and the byproducts, and they all come together.